Hey look, anybody that knows me will gladly tell you I'm probably one of the least critical people that you'll ever meet. Thoughtful I am. In fact, in the course of a day, I spend anywhere from 8 to 10 hours just sympathizing with the plight of others. Every now and then I come across some foolishness which jeopardizes the sanctity of manhood, and at that point I have to call it out, which leads me to the point of the day. A term that I just coined, and you won't find it in any dictionary, because like I said, I just made it up a couple of minutes ago, and it's called relationship congruency. A very sophisticated term, like I said, I just made it up, but what it does is seeks to satisfy an observance that I've been making over the last few months. And that deals with guys dating above their head or getting in relationships which are outside of their capacity to manage. You see, relationship congruency is when what you have to offer is in line with what somebody else expects. It's three vital areas that need to be satisfied, and that's physically, intellectually, and financially. Let's talk about financially. The financial piece is something that lags and lingers. You see, if you aren't able to meet someone's expectations financially, then there's a lagging, lingering effect that you revisit on a frequent basis. Here's a key example. You are already working 2.5 jobs just trying to get your driver's license back because you're 9 months behind in child support. And Anthony Hamilton's coming to town with his whole entourage, the Hamlettes or whatever they call them, and your girl wants to go to the concert. Now, you want to take her to the concert, but that's going to be $150 plus y'all got to eat. By the end of it, you'll spend close to $300. You tell her, hey, honey, I really like to take you down to the concert, but I just can't swing it. I don't have the funds. Okay, she'll tell you with a smile, oh, honey, it's okay. We don't have to do it. But she's not going to do that for every concert that comes to town. So this is the financial piece of the relationship congruency. If you can't sustain or maintain the financial expectations of your mate, then you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a lot of disappointment and extenuating stress. Intellectually, outside of the bedroom, there's a lot that transpire. We all know that sex is a huge part of any relationship, or should be. But when you're not doing that, you have to do something called communicating, general conversation. You have to talk about things. What's the food good? I like the food. Hey, what do you think about the politics situation, the political landscape, or the traffic situation? My commute's taking me 2 hours. Bottom line is, if your mate wants to have an in-depth conversation about anything besides Pokemon Go or NFL 2K17, and you can't do that, then you're going to have a rift. You're going to have a lot of lost interest because you don't have the intellectual capacity to satisfy her needs. Intellectual capacity is something that's built over years. So if there's a gap there, that's going to be something relatively substantial that I just don't know how you can overcome. Then lastly, the physical component. Everybody says that, the sex or the intimacy is not a huge thing. Yeah, it never is a huge thing until it's the thing. So if you're in a situation where what you have to offer is not in line with what she needs to be satisfied, bottom line is, she's going to be okay until Sir Lancelot from the Kingdom of Three-Legged Men walks up and offer her what she's looking for. Now, when you wrap all three of these components together, you have to be able to offer something that's going to be in line with the expectations of the woman. All too often, we got guys that are doing everything they can to hang on to women that are clearly outside of their league, that are clearly above their head. And what do the women do? They go along with it for a while. And then the relationship staggers. The woman starts looking at other places, seeing other things that they'd rather have or rather experience. Then you have a relationship that ends up badly. The bottom line is, guys, stop dating above your head. That disturbs the entire force of the game. See, when you start dealing with women that you don't have the capacity to sustain, you get to a point where you have to cut bait. You can't keep the relationship healthy or whole because everything you're doing, your very best, is not enough to sustain the relationship. And what you're doing is serving as a placeholder to keep another brother from interacting with a woman that he could be much happier with or she could be much happier with. So bottom line is, If you can't maintain or sustain a relationship, don't get involved in it. That's just Mannishlaws.